that is the first step. You have to accept exactly who you are, just like you have to accept the reality that you've created in your life. So everybody has their own level of financial anxiety. And here's what I'm going to say about that. Nobody actually really knows where their level of financial anxiety is. But when we're looking at building your financial base, is what I would say to people, is like, so the base of your pyramid is things like savings accounts, CDs, money market accounts, very safe, secure. I would even say for some people that's cash in a safe at home. You know, that sometimes that's your base, that's your financial base. And you know, the typical recommended amount in a financial base is 3 to 6 months of living expenses. But I will tell you, not one client I have has exactly that amount. Why? Because people have different levels of anxiety around money. And depending on how high your anxieties are around money will depend on how much you have in a safe at home because you don't trust the banking system. And I find that a lot of people, as an example, anyone who grew up in a communist country or their parents or grandparents did, they tend to like more money in a safe in their house because they trust themselves over and above the system. Because there's patterns in our lineages and we have to understand that too. Then it's savings in the bank. Right? And then there's laddering some CDs perhaps. And everybody has a different threshold of what's comfortable for you. So we don't really realize where that anxiety is. Very, very, very few people, I have maybe a handful, where they've never reached that level where there's not anxiety. But there's always a level in that financial base where we build that foundation of your pyramid that the more money you have to the side in case the shit hits the fan, that's actually what reduces our financial anxiety. One client, it didn't get until we hit 200 grand in a savings account at 2 different banks, right? Like that's a really, really high threshold. And most people are not that. The problem is a lot of us have anxiety because we're one paycheck away from it all falling apart because we haven't insulated ourselves to life happening outside of ourselves. And so your financial anxieties really have to do with how much you've insulated yourself from the financial system and society itself. And everybody has a different threshold. I would just say consider all the things that I've talked about in the video and what that means for you. We all have financial patterns. I need you to love yourself for your financial patterns because people think that they have to change their financial patterns. And I'm here to tell you, your patterning is your patterning. That's not going to change. You as a human being, your wiring is your wiring. You are not going to change. So accept that. And there's nothing wrong with exactly how you're wired. Now, the caveat to that is you need to create a system that supports who you are, that positions you to be lucky. So for an example, some clients, they can't build money up in a savings account. Why? Because they always use the money. So when I realize a client has made their savings account rotational, like their checking account, I know I have to take that money away from them and squirrel it away in somewhere else because people won't come to me for the squirreling money, but they don't love themselves enough to leave their own money alone. And so it's really about finding that pattern that you have and building a system that positions you to be lucky to still get your goals in alignment, but not selling yourself away, right? So that's probably the biggest thing that I can say to people is that stop expecting yourself to change and stop all the shame, blame, guilt, and judgment that you have around being wired the way that you are. You are perfect. You were designed to do exactly what you're meant to do in this lifetime. And if we can't remove that shame, blame, guilt, and judgment around how you're wired and how you have this patterning, like that is the first step. You have to accept exactly who you are, just like you have to accept the reality that you've created in your life. Just love the shit out of yourself because no one else is going to do that better than you. And once you know who you are and you see your patterning, we build systems. And you know, any of my books, Awaken Your Wealth, is a great book that puts a system in place for you. You know, I have free workshops. I have, courses that you could take to go deeper. There's lots of systems that I have built to help you on that journey to build that system around your patterning. So come join our community because this is about financial empowerment. So if that's what you want, come join us because we're doing it. Do you want to experience free coaching based on my 25 plus years as being a financial planner and ask me any question that you want to ask me to help you get past that hurdle in your financial world? I run these free workshops every other month to start to open you up to start to help you get to this next place. The information for my free workshop, click the link below and register, and I'll see you on the next workshop. Don't forget to hit that notification bell and like and subscribe to the channel. Why? Because then you can get more knowledge all the time and be a part of a community that's actually going to lift you up.